greatest show on earth.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Con Culture Convo. It's just me again. A sunburned Tim. My Brighton did win today, the last game of the season, which is great. But yeah, it's just me. Chris is currently at MomoCon. Hopefully, absolutely killing it. I haven't talked to him, which is either one of two things. It's either he is crazy busy or the signal sucks. Hopefully, that he's killing it right now. MomoCon's a fantastic show. I love MomoCon. So we're doing another little solo convo. It's actually kind of an extension of the last one. Be kind of quick, under 10 minutes more than likely, just to get you guys a little content, a little update on our lovely tariffs that are happening, that are impacting our industry. So there was a little update last week. All the tariffs have been restructured to do a 10%. So they're falling back for 90 days. So how that impacts you is they went from 145 to 10. Even though that's not the full story, the Trump administration wants you to think that they are helping you out. And they are in theory. They shouldn't have placed it in the first place. But yeah, it's definitely something that's going to impact businesses like us and has already. I will say this, my first little tip for you guys out there across the industry, period, if you're in a small business, whatever, anything at all related to having to buy something that's made overseas, which is almost everything. My advice is to go buy it now while the tariffs are at the 10%. Because it's not just the tariffs that are going to kind of screw us over again. It's that the 90-day pause is great, but the problem is that gap period between, almost a month of when they announced these 145% tariffs, and there was so much uncertainty in the marketplace of importing and exporting, for that matter, but mainly importing, that a lot of the shipments stopped, period. And so a lot of the supply still kind of came in, the demand plummeted. So therefore you think, oh, the prices are going to go down. Well, no, unfortunately, that's not the case in this economic situation. That means prices are going to go up because all these companies that bring in all this stuff just stopped ordering. A lot of them were like, I don't want to pay 145% tariff on a import. For example, a buddy of mine imported a bunch of plush, and the order was $102,000 worth of stuff, which is a lot of money, right? He's using it for big shows. He got an exclusive for something, which is really great. And he went to go do it. Got it, sat at the port. They announced the tariffs, and right before they were going to deliver, like 2 days before, sitting in the port, they had it all set up to get to the next destination, and it sat in the port of LA. And the port authority would not release it until they paid the tariffs. And he was guessing it was going to be 10,000 something. He say, sucks, but I'll be able to pass it on to my consumer a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't happen because the tariff was 145%. So it didn't go from 100,000 to 145,000. It went to 248,000 something, he said. And he's like, I literally am going to lose money because at this, I was already doubling the price point for this, basically doubling my money on the investment if I sold every single one, which that's not going to happen anyway. But on top of that, now it's, instead of him selling it at $25 and his cost maybe are 12, now he's got to sell it for 40, and who wants to buy a $40 plushie? Especially when the market right now, they're all 20, $25. So instantly right there, he just let it sit there. And I'm hoping now, I haven't spoken with them in a couple of days, but I'm going to guess that he's probably going to leave it there until the tariffs are at now. And I guess restructure that bill, hopefully. I hope it's not a one-time only bullshit. Like, oh no, you imported on these dates, that's what you got to pay. But to me, it seems like it's the wild, wild west out there. I don't know if anybody's even remotely has any clue what's going on. I mean, they act like they're so easy and so simple, but it's not. There's so many things. I've imported things a lot, and there's agents, there's licensors, there's so many steps in importing that the problem is when you have all these tariffs, somebody's got to handle it, which means one, you're already paying the tariff, and then two, you got to pay somebody to handle all the tariff information. It's not like you just, oh, here's a bill, pay, done. Somebody has to make that bill. Somebody has to create that. And it's just more cost, right? So it's not just like it's just 10% tariff on top of, by the way, this is a 10% tariff right now on top of the 30 something, I think it's 35% tariff that's already happening. That they just have kind of swept under the rug and say that's what's going to happen now. And so China's already updated their prices with that, so they've gone up. But I think we can all eat 30%. We can't eat 145%. We can't. That's just stupid. Um, and It's silly. But yeah, so just know it's going to be another 10% on top of what you're paying. So get those orders in for the fall stuff, the winter stuff that you're going to get done, and just handle that now before it changes and try and get here quick as possible. I know a workaround was the $800 or under value. I recently did an order and a second order, small order, and it did qualify for that, and it didn't pay any tariff, which is great. But there's a new rule where apparently it's stuck at the 54% rule. So anything now, basically, $800, you're still going to get dinged, which I don't get why they made it exempt for that period, and then so you weren't getting anything. And then now, if you make it, you get 10% on the bigger ones, but then on the smaller ones, you're getting hit at the 54% tariff. I mean, it just makes no logical sense. I will say this: when you guys are importing right now, there's one thing to really look out for. Do not, under any circumstances, use the United States Postal Service. I love USPS, excuse me. I also like UPS, but they're not what we're talking about right now. Try and support them as an organization, taxpayer funded company. I prefer it, right? But right now, currently, there is a issue happening, and I don't know if it's on purpose. I think it kind of might be, to probably either hype up or hype down the price point and the income coming into the post office. Is any packages that are coming in from China through the post office that are going to be delivering to you are all going to be hit with a mandatory 54% tariff, no matter what, whether it was a $20 item, $20,000 items, does not matter. You are going to get hit with the 54% tariff. And on top of that, there is a mandatory $100 handling fee. I was watching a TikToker where this chick had a bunch of jeans that she had ordered from Alibaba, and it was like $38 worth of like jeans. It was like 4 pair of jeans. She was just trying them off, like leggings and whatever, right? So she's got the bill is $38, and then when the post office guy came to deliver it, there's the 100% or $100 handling fee, and then the 54% tariff. The deal, it was like $38 and it ended up being $169 or something now for the same thing. And so she's like, I just refused it. She's like, I'll just go to H&M or Macy's or whatever. If I want to spend, that kind of money, I'll just buy something here. I'll go to the vintage store or something. She goes, absolutely ridiculous. And that's suddenly, it's an issue. $100 for handling fee for a package that was this big. I mean, it's wild. But yeah, so kind of bringing everything together. One, I would recommend looking for alternatives to China. Obviously, the Trump administration has a hard on against China. That's evidently clear. Secondly, I would say try to avoid China if you can. It's going to be really hard. But, look at Vietnam, look at Korea. I know South Korea, obviously. Gotta make that clear. Do not look at North Korea. They probably won't reply back to their emails. A couple places maybe in Latin America, but odds are it's probably going to be Vietnam. This is going to be your best alternative. The tariffs on that are a little bit more relaxed because I guess the Trump administration doesn't care about Vietnam right now, so that could change. So that's, I would say look for that. Obviously, if you can get something in the US, great. Good luck. And then I would say, lastly, order it before these shortages come because there will be a shortage. like I was talking about earlier, when it all wraps up and everything kind of dwindles down, when those people stop ordering it and all these things where they weren't coming in, it doesn't hit right away. All that inventory of whatever it may be, a printer, a barbecue, paper, I mean, anything and everything, guys, you can imagine that's being imported from China, which is an ungodly amount. Everything pretty much besides food and oil uh, is going to be delayed, which means there's going to be less product on your every store, every countertop, every shelf. They're all going to be less empty coming or less full coming up, guys. So I think it's something that you need to really consider. If there's something you really want to buy it. I just moved my new office. It's not fully done. That's why it's very dark. You'll see later on. I'll do a little walkthrough video for you guys when I'm all set up. My podcast stuff is going to be right over there. Not done with it yet, but it's going to look awesome. I'm really excited. And I obviously bought a new house, and the things I've been buying, I didn't want to spend money on a lot of stuff. Like I wanted to wait to get a grill. I wanted to wait to get this lighting system. And then I was having a talk with my dad, and he was like, "Well, maybe you should just buy some of the stuff now. I know you don't want to spend that money now, but it's not going to be cheaper in 3 months when you need it. It could be double. That grill that is on sale right now for $249 could be $399 in 4 months." And I thought about it, and I was like, "Oh, man, I think he's right." So I bought a lot of stuff. I've been buying a lot of stuff for the house. Obviously, anybody who's ever moved knows you never have enough stuff. It's just always something you need. And I'm a first-time home buyer, so it's like even worse, all this other random stuff I've never thought about. But um, I do think that if there's something you desperately need, and you know you're going to need it, and you may not need it tomorrow, but you're going to need it in July, August, whatever, if you can, buy it now. If those things come off the shelf and there's only 80 of these at a normal store and now there's only 20, then they sell a couple of days. Suddenly now, like after a week, they're all gone. They might not getting that next replacement for 3 months. It sets everything back. And that's going to be bad for us. As consumers, as small business owners, we're not going to benefit from that in any way, shape, or form. So I would say go buy the stuff you need now. Eat that little tariff cost for now, because honestly, the prices are going to go up on these items because they're not going to have as much of the product availability, and the supply is going to go down, which means demand's technically going to be the same or a little higher. And then suddenly, prices of something's going to go from normally $12.99, it's going to be $16.99, $17.99. And guess what? It's never going to go down. When they get all their shit back in and they're full shelved and fully stocked, is that ever going to go back down? Nope. Because that's how they get us. That's how this corporate greed screwing over American consumers on a daily basis. And it will stay that way. I have an economics degree. The stuff I looked at and read, I just know they're pulling one over on us. And it sucks. So the only way to do that, buy local. By local, I mean, support your local farmers. Buy it secondhand. Go look at vintage flea markets. Go look at swap meets. Go look for just random stuff you may need. That someone selling a desk that was made in 1955 is probably made better. And two, you get to support something that's not being made again. So there's obviously more economically friendly, more eco-friendly. Just a random little tip. I'm not saying you have to go do it, but I think it's something that you should consider. On the business front, like I said, I would buy anything. You need a printer, ink, paper, guys, all of our fellow artists out there. There's a lot of stuff that's imported from Canada, from Mexico. They don't know. I want to say Brazil and Canada are number one paper importers here. So it's like we're not just cutting down our trees and doing it. We're typically importing things, which is going to be a tariff, which means your paper print cost is going to go up. You can kind of eat for, your print cost is 78 cents for 11 by 14 or whatever. And now they go up to 85. Okay, that's not a big deal. You'll just keep going on. You can't really pass that on a $20 print, right? You can't pass that on to consumer. But, you're going to eat a little bit of that cost, which sucks. But I would say if you can help out on that, do that. Order as much as you can now. Maybe you look at bulk prices, get together with a couple of your artist friends and say, hey, if we buy this bulk paper, we'll we're all going to use this, 100-pound satin cardstock. Maybe we get together and we buy 10,000 sheets and we're good for the rest of the year. We all cost us, all cost us a couple grand, but we know we're good for a while at this price point. Whereas I don't know how this all is going to end up. So, but yeah, I would say just start getting a little creative with how to save money, split hotels with people. I won't do that. Please don't offer. I need my peace. I'm an old man. I want to sleep by myself. Split that, don't eat out as much when you're on the road. Bring your food if you're driving. Bring your water, bring your drinks. You're not buying $12 Coke and hot dog combo at a shitty convention center food. And don't support them. Help yourself out. There's no reason. We don't owe them a thing, guys. They're making plenty of money off us already. We don't need to give them another dollar when that dollar could be put in our pocket instead. So yeah, that was also another one who right now, Memorial Day guy sales is Solus is having a sale. I forgot. So the Solus 4G, I prefer over the 5G actually, which makes no sense, but it seems to work faster for me. It's $135 right now, and it comes with I think 10 gigs of free Wi-Fi, and then you can pay per gig after that. That's another way of hopefully using products and whatever, but not having to buy internet. Because $135, that's one show. Maybe if you're lucky. There's a couple of shows I've had this year where I almost bought the internet. If you do that offline mode, it's a crapshoot, Square, PayPal, whatever. They're like, oh yeah, offline works perfectly. And then suddenly 3 of your 25 transactions are gone or got declined. And yeah, it's a scam. But yeah, if you buy it, Solis, SOLIS Wi-Fi.com. And they have that deal right now. Solus Mobile Hotspot, 4G, unlimited data, or $135 shipped. So not bad. I will go grab that. And I think you can buy options at gigs. I always wait, a tip on that too. Wait for the holidays. Martin Luther King Day, Memorial Day, President Day. It doesn't matter what it is. They always have a sale. So just wait. Do like buying 1 gig at a time for like $10, right? And then once that kind of goes out, wait for the holiday sale coming. On Black Friday last year, I bought like 30 gigs in space, which I haven't even used fully yet. And that was in last November or whatever. For almost 6 months, it's lasted me. And I think I paid like 20 something bucks. It was great. So yeah, I would recommend that. Help you not have to pay for Wi-Fi at the show, because one time of that, and at $78 a day for that bullshit Wi-Fi, no thank you. Smart City Network, if you're listening to this, you can go fuck off, because I hate you. And everybody in this industry fucking hates you with lots of F's. Like, fuck you. We all hate you. You're a piece of shit organization, and I hope you go out of business, to be honest with you. You're like the worst thing in this industry. So yeah, Smart City Network. Yeah, go ahead and tag them in this. I don't care if they're watching. Yeah, Solus, great. Smart City Network. Yeah, so I just want to wrap this up. Go out there, buy what you need right now. Don't overspend, but if you need something, I would say sooner rather than later, because I think prices, unfortunately, are going to only go up and not come back down. But yeah, from the Sunburn, Tim, appreciate you guys reaching out and, comment with any of the things you're buying or need to buy or whatever. Maybe split with some people here, all that fun stuff. I do appreciate you guys and everybody listening to another solo convo. Join the convo, guys.